In this video, I'm gonna talk about how you can scale your content service-based business to $15,000 a month in the leanest way possible, without guarantees and without building a huge team. If you're new here, my name is Nemanja, and over the last 2 years, I've gained billions of views for my clients and myself combined, built a following of over 40,000 followers, scaled 2 content agencies to the 6-figure run rate, built amazing connections, and changed my life. And now, I'm helping other people do the same. So the first thing that you need in order to get your agency to $15,000 a month is have a full cycle high ticket offer. Now, when it comes to hitting this goal, instead of thinking about the goal itself immediately and being overwhelmed, it's much easier to break it down into chewable pieces and think about it like that. So $15,000 a month can be made by having 15 clients at $1,000, or 10 clients at $1,500, or 5 clients at $3,000, 3 clients at $5,000, or 2 clients for $7,500. So practically, the more you charge, the less clients you need in order to hit the goal. Now, talking from my personal experience, the less people you're dealing with on a daily basis, whether it's your clients or your team members, the simpler and the easier your life is. So now you're probably wondering, okay, but how do you charge more? What determines how much are you gonna charge? You can't just pick one that you like the most and start charging that much, right? Exactly. So what are the things that determine how much you can charge? There's really 3 things that determine that. And it's the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and how difficult is it to replace you. So when it comes to choosing the service, you really need to think about these 3 segments. Now, as you're already offering a content service of some sort, the need for what you do is already covered, because the need for content and for content services already exists. Now what you need to think about is how good you are at doing that service and how replaceable you are at doing that service. So let's first cover how to become irreplaceable. And there's really 2 ways to do that. First one is the type of your service, and second one is your unique mechanism. So think about it like this. Content creation process as a whole can be broken down into multiple different steps. This here represents only one step of the process. Now imagine you have 2 options. One option is to only solve one part of the entire process, for example, editing. Another option is to cover the entire process. Based on these 2 options, which one do you think is gonna make you more irreplaceable? Of course, the one where you're covering the entire thing, because it's much harder to do the entire thing. There's many things that you need to do, and it's hard to find someone who can do the entire thing specifically personalized for the client that you're currently working with. So that's the first part of making yourself irreplaceable, to make your service be a full cycle service, meaning you help people with the entire content creation process, which can be broken down into thousands of pieces. You have ideation, scripting, editing, recording, research, optimizing, conversion. You have millions of things that go into content creation process. And if you cover all of them and help your clients with all of them or the most of them, it will be much harder for them to find someone to replace you. Another part is having your unique mechanism. Now, unique mechanism in and of itself is a deep enough topic that deserves a completely separate video just on that, which I'm gonna make really soon. But let me give you an example from my own agency just so you can understand what unique mechanism means and how you could implement it in your own business. So in my own agency, in my own example, instead of only offering 4 YouTube videos a month with all the scripts and edits and thumbnails, which there's thousands of people who are already offering, we offered something different. We offered a series of videos that are all interconnected and bingeable like Netflix episodes that ultimately have a goal to convert people from viewers into buyers. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean name your service in a different way and just present it differently. This actually means have a unique mechanism, a unique way of delivering your service. Because if you position yourself that way, you have a full cycle offer and you have a unique mechanism for that offer. If anyone wants to get your process done, the only way to do it is through you. The only way is to hire you. And that's what we did. The only way, if people wanted to do Netflix series episodes on YouTube, not only because of the things said, but because of the post-production we had as well, is to come to us and let us do that service for them. So that's how you become irreplaceable. Now, there's one last thing left that will allow you to charge more to get to your goal with fewer number of clients, and that is your ability to do it. And the ability to do that service really comes down to how much experience you have, which might be the biggest problem for some of you all watching. So, one of the great things about having a full cycle offer is that the more you're doing it, the better you become at it. So the more you're doing it, the more your ability to do this service increases. Now, why this might still be a problem for some of you is because you haven't done it ever for any of your clients. And the solution for that is damn simple. You just implement your service for yourself. Start posting content and building experience on your own skin. Once you start posting content and start getting some traction, some results from it, you will have much more confidence to do that for other people. Other people will trust you more as well because they can see visually that you have the proof for what you're doing. When I was starting out and I was posting lots of content to gain experience on my own skin, the first couple of clients that I had, all of them had more followers than me. Which means that it's not really about how many followers you have, it's about the knowledge about content that you have and the way that you present it into the world that's gonna make people trust you to help them with their content. And now, once you have the skills that are needed, that you're good at, and that are very hard to replace, you can package all these skills up into an offer and charge at least $3,000 for it, and that way, in a much easier way, get to your goal of $15,000 a month. Now, the second thing you need in order to get there is to have a compounding client acquisition process. One of the biggest mistakes and misconceptions I see agency owners have today is they think they should choose between content or outreach, which is completely false. These two things cannot be separated. How do you expect anyone to get in a conversation with you, talk about the problems you can solve for them with your service, and eventually pay you money for that service if you never reach out to them and start that conversation in the first place? In the same way, how do you expect anyone to reply to you if you got 0 videos posted, 300 followers, and you're trying to sell them on how important content is? You need both. It's not content or outreach, it's content and outreach. And here's why. The way I want to run my business is I want it to get easier over time. So 5 years from now, I want my business to be much easier to run, to get clients, to fulfill clients, much easier to do everything than it is right now. I don't want to be needing to work every single day, all day, and get my business get harder over time. It's not what my goal is. And the problem with outreach is that it does not compound, it's linear. Meaning, if you put X amount of time and effort, you're gonna get X results. And if you wanna get more results, you need to put more time and effort into it to get more results. Which is not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's terrible for scaling long term because it does not compound, meaning the work that you've put in today is only viable for today. Tomorrow, it's all gonna be resetted and you gotta start from zero. Now, on the other hand, building your brand is a completely different side of the coin. Meaning it's not linear, it's exponential. So what does that mean? It means that in the beginning, it's extremely slow. But after some time, its efficiency skyrockets and basically beats everything. And the best thing about this is, as I said, that it compounds. What does that mean? It means that effort put in today doesn't go to waste. Effort put in today will be a foundation for the effort put in tomorrow. And then the effort that you put in next day is gonna build on top of the effort that you put in tomorrow and today. So if you post a video on day one, for example, that video doesn't go to waste, because when you post the next video, that same video can still get views, and the new video is gonna get views, meaning that even though it's super slow in the beginning, because of the compounding, the snowball effect, it's gonna basically skyrocket and beat everything else compared to it in its efficiency. So if you look at the graph here, you have linear outreach and you have exponential content. Now, you don't wanna catch this downside here, but you damn sure wanna catch all this upside over here. So how do you do that? And the way that you do that goes back to the first point that I made, which is it's not content or outreach, it's content and outreach. So in order for you to not catch this downside here, but catch all the upside, is to do both in the same time. Because in the beginning, outreach is gonna be more efficient because it's linear, meaning you can put more effort in and you're definitely guaranteed to get more result and better outcome out of it. Whereas with content, it's slow in the beginning, but it compounds as the time goes, and at one point, it's basically gonna break the efficiency of the outreach and becomes more efficient than outreach. Whether you're doing outreach, whether you're running ads, whether you're building a new offer, launching a new product, whatever you're doing, content in your brand, in its efficiency, carries everything together with it to the top. And the thing that I see a lot of people make a huge mistake about is giving up too early. And to give you my personal example, when I started posting content, first I was still in high school and I started posting every single day. And I was doing that for over 6 months. Now in the first 100 posts I posted, I got 300 followers, astonishing 300 followers. So if I were to draw that on the graph, after 100 posts, I was probably here, not even started. But still, after posting consistently and consistently trying to improve the content that I post and the things that I do, I grew from there to over 40,000 followers. I literally started from zero. And the only thing that got me here was pretty much this curve. Because if I quit at 300 followers after 100 posts, imagine doing something for 100 days, every single day, for hours on end, without being sure whether or not you should do it, whether or not the way you're doing it is correct. And after doing it for 100 days in a row, you're still shit. Terrible, like 300 followers. It's disappointing when I look at it from this perspective. And nowadays I see people that post 10 videos or 20 videos that have 10 times more views than I did when I was starting out. And they're discouraged because they didn't get clients from those videos. So do not get discouraged quickly and do not quit. Content game is a long-term game. Outreach is very linear. You do, you get. You do, you get. You're investing in the present. With content, you're investing in the future. And now, the third thing you need in order to get your business to the goal of $15,000 a month is having a proper service delivery. Service delivery is one of, if not the most important thing in your entire business. It can give you outside unproportional benefits just by having it. Good word of mouth, clients renewing, staying with you and paying you more, you being more confident to delivering your service because you're getting better at service, because you're doing it more, because your clients are renewing. Because of that, you're getting clients better results. Because of that, you're charging more, and it's an endless loop of benefits. And all of these things can be done by simply having a proper service delivery. Now, the way that I like to think about service delivery and the way that I like to get it to be good is using a very simple framework. You optimize and then you systemize. Optimize part meaning you do the service yourself for your clients. Yes, you do not hire a cheap VA to replace you completely from your service and replace you from the service delivery completely. No, you roll up your sleeves and you actually do the work for your clients. And here's why. Think about it this way. If your service delivery is arguably the most important part of your business, who do you think would put more effort into it and care more about getting it right and well? You or a random person from the internet? Obviously you. And another thing is, if you don't have a proper service delivery that you've done yourself multiple times, you don't even know exactly what are the actions required to get done in order to get positive outcome from your service delivery for your clients. So if you don't even know what are the actions that need to get done to get positive outcome, how are you gonna hire someone to do those actions when you don't even know for sure what they are? And I know this from my personal experience. Back in the day when I was running one of my offers, and I had an offer where basically other people did all of my service delivery. So the only thing that I needed to do is that at the beginning of working with the client, I would need to do some initial work to set up things, and basically after that, other people would take over and deliver the service. The results? A complete mess, lots of stress, unhappy clients, and even some refunds. Terrible option. Now after that, I changed my offer and switched the way of delivering for 180 degrees. I started delivering my full service by myself and my business partner. Immediately after that, we charged the most, were the most confident in actually delivering the service, and most importantly, delivered some of the best results ever for our clients that continued to pay us dividends for months after that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that hiring people is bad and that you should never hire people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, like in the beginning of the video, the way I want to run my business is I want to be able to get to 15K a month without building a huge team, without having lots of people. You can have a small team, which is great, which is the second part after Optimize. You go to Systemize, which I'm gonna get to in a second. I just first wanna make clear the way that I wanna run my business to make sure that you watching can resonate with that, and make sure that the people watching me can know the way I wanna run my business and the way that I wanna help other people run their business. I actually got a comment on my Instagram post when I talked about the way that I want to run my business and that I want to build a huge team and that I want to have a lean team and do the service myself for some parts, some of the most important parts. And the comment was that, well, how do you expect then to build a $1 million agency like King Kong and create a sellable asset and then sell it one day? And the thing is that I don't want that. I do not want that. I'm not saying it's bad, it's everyone's personal preference, and I do not want that life. The way that I want to build my business is I want to build my business so that it can fuel my life. I don't want my life to fuel my business. I don't want it to be the other way around. I want to build a business and build it in the leanest way possible so that it can support my life and I can spend time doing something more meaningful, in my opinion, like building a family and improving myself in a spiritual way, which when I say that, I mean getting closer to God, fulfilling God's commandments, and really trying to get rid of all the negative thoughts and leaving a positive impact to every single person I interact with in a day. Those are the things that I really want to focus on. I want to focus on making good people, good and free people, and making good friends. Those are the things that I want to do, that are more meaningful to me personally than building a $1 million sellable asset that I can sell one day. After you optimize and you're sure that you can deliver your service well and that you know how to do it, you've done it a couple of times, you're pretty confident that you can do it yourself, then you can go to the second part, which is Systemize. Now, Systemize is a very simple part, because you've already done the work and put in the effort needed to optimize, and now all that's left is to systemize. And to systemize means that you already know what are the actions needed to get the result, to get the positive outcome, and now you need to build systems and SOPs around those actions, so that when you want to hire someone to do that instead of you, you can easily train them on how to do these things, because you've already done them yourself. And eventually they are gonna get better at you than what you do. But in the beginning, you need to be the one that's gonna train them up to get to the standard that you set yourself. And the only and the easiest way to do it, to build systems around those things, is to have the experience by you already doing it in the first place, so you know all the ins and all the outs of your service and the things that need to get done. Now, one crucial thing here is in order for Systemize to be able to get it done, we gotta keep in mind and get back to the first point. And that's what's gonna tie all of this together. Because in order to be able to systemize your client delivery, you need to have a full cycle high ticket offer for a specific person. You need to have a specific service for a specific person. Because if you do not have a specific person you're doing your service for, but you have different avatars and different peoples and different service deliveries and different clients, it's going to be practically impossible to deliver the service well and to systemize it. Imagine if you had one client for short form, one client for long form, one client for both combined, one client for ads, and you had multiple different clients and all of them are different niches. So one was a real estate consultant, another one was an online coach, another one was a fitness trainer, and another one was a plumber. How are you ever gonna systemize stuff about that? Because every single delivery is completely different. So one of the requirements basically to be able to systemize your delivery is to have an offer that you're gonna deliver for one specific avatar. Because if you have multiple different clients and you're doing the same service for all of them, the same set of actions needs to be done the same way, only personalized, in order to get them the result. So when you hire someone else, it's much easier to explain to them what are the things they need to do and explain to them how they should do it. And by doing that, by one hire, you can take care of multiple clients. So to get to $15,000 a month with your content agency in the leanest way possible, you need to come up with a full cycle high ticket offer by doing the service that's already in need, by being very good at what you do, and by being irreplaceable. Having a compounding client acquisition process and combining content and outreach to get the upside of linear outreach progress and upside of content exponential progress. And you need to have a systemized service delivery, which is going to allow you to deliver great results for your clients while still being able to focus on other meaningful things and scale your business even further. If you want to get daily tips like this from me, you can follow me down below on Instagram. And if you already got some experience, you already got a couple of clients, but you're finally ready to go all in and scale your content service-based business to $15,000 a month in the leanest way possible, and you want the help from me and my team to personally help you on that journey, fill out the application on the first link in the description down below and book a call with us. We'll talk and see if and how we can help the best. That's it for this video, and if it's God's will, I'll see you in the next one.